Hello and welcome back to Astrological Intentions. This is episode 32, filmed on March 5th, 2019. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the Pisces preacher herself, Sandy Reevy.
Hi, Alex. Happy Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras. So what we're going to be talking about today is Mercury Retrograde.
Happened today at 12:19 Central Time. Reform that dream.
Uranus into Taurus.
Engage the change.
New moon in Pisces.
Spiritual recharge.
Sun conjunct Neptune.
Understand the world.
Sun sextile Saturn.
Being on point.
Mars sextile Neptune.
Now, relax.
Then we have some Talisman Times that were finished up last week, including, to energize core vitality, to attract luck and abundance, some that will help us understand our healing process coming up this week, as well as on the horizon, we have webinars, some summits in Phoenix, Arizona, another one in Portland, Oregon, some free Facebook Live events you won't want to miss, as well as our Bali retreat. Then finally wrapping up in our house, I want to talk about my birthday weekend.
Ta-da! And you can, and we do.
And Sandy wants to talk about the mishaps of the first show of the year, as well as a little Mercury retrograde story.
Mercury already started for Alex and I, and I'm sure it started for you. Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys.
Hello, how are you, Mama?
I'm a little bit better than you are tonight, Alex.
I know, I'm a little bit under the weather. It must have been my wonderful birthday weekend.
Well, or it's just the fact that your voice is raw, your throat is sore.
That is so true.
I'll do most of the talking tonight.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Okay.
Well, so I wanted to start with going direct, and we're going to be inserting this really wonderful birthday song that I received over my birthday weekend from actually one of our podcast listeners. Her name's Claudia, and she's from Germany, and she sang me this beautiful song.
Segen auf all deinen Wegen, Gesundheit und Frohsinn seien auch mit dabei. Hey Alex, my voice is kind of off, so I wanted to sing you this traditional German birthday tune anyways, because I loved listening to your voice every week on the podcast, and I hope you have a really, really awesome birthday and celebrate with friends and family. And I wish you lots of health and happiness and lots of adventures in the next year. And I am looking so much forward to seeing you in Bali. So have a great day. Happy birthday, Alex, and celebrate. Bye.
So
Nice,
thank you,
I like
Claudia,
you. Thank
for
you,
that
Claudia. We'll
wonderful
see you in
song.
Bali.
Yes, we'll see you in Bali. Can't wait.
Right. And actually, happy Mardi Gras. You know, this is a really big deal, especially in New Orleans.
Fat Tuesday.
Tonight. Yeah, Fat Tuesday, which is probably one reason why you were like, I need to eat again.
Probably. That must be the reason.
Right,
Or the fact that I haven't had dinner yet.
Or because tomorrow's Ash Wednesday and therefore the Lenten season begins.
Correct. So let's get started in the transits. We have Mercury retrograde. Today is the day.
This is
Everyone's
Tuesday.
been dreading.
Yeah. Tuesday, March 5th is our first Mercury retrograde of the year. We'll get two more, and it started today about 12:19 p.m. And, I called this last week, Reform the Dream. It really is. It's going in retrograde motion at the very, very last degree of the year, which happens to sit on my personal natal sun at 29 degrees of Pisces.
Well, so the communication will get a little bit blurrier, I'm assuming.
But it's really to listen to your visions. It's a time to give more time for sensitivity, / numbness. We don't want to do that. We might have a tendency to go in that direction of like not wanting to do anything. But really to be able to write your thoughts, your ideas, listen to what your dreams are telling you. Go to bed early so that you can maybe have more time to have these dream sessions. Because you're going to be getting more of a storyline, right? As you continue to dream. I mean, Pisces is dreamland. A retrograde Mercury is rewriting, redreaming, revitalizing, redoing all of the work that it has just done in Pisces. So just as it was getting ready to go into Aries, it decides to go backwards to get more of this visioning. So set an intention today. Set an intention for coming out of this with kind of a new vision, but one that's tangible, that's like in color, that's clear. It's not foggy, it's not fuzzy, but yet it's still a dream. So set an intention.
And that even reminds me a little bit of, if you're ever in like a lake and it's a little bit murky and you're swimming underneath the water and you have to get very, very close up to something in order to be able to see what it is.
Oh, good point.
Just kind of keep on swimming. Keep on swimming to that dream, keep swimming through, and then that vision is just kind of going to appear very vividly, very brightly in front of you.
The other thought that, it's funny today how we're like, you have an idea and I have a similar idea, yet completely different, but it's on the same wavelength. Because my thought when you were about to say is, when you're swimming in a lake and it gets all revved up and it gets mucky and muddy, but if you calm down, things start to settle, what muck and dirt and starts to, settle back down so you can get clearer. So, let's try each of those.
Sounds good.
Get really close and then calm down so that you can see it clear. So, this stays in a retrograde until the end of March. March 29th, it stations forward at 16 degrees of Pisces. So, any birthdays I mentioned from March 7th to March 20th have this retrograde on their sun, on their natal sun.
And so give me a quick synopsis because I know we have some new listeners, I know. Just give me a quick example of what is Mercury retrograde and what is Mercury retrograde natally?
So a Mercury retrograde, first of all planets go retrograde, except for the sun and the moon, which are really considered the luminaries. And all planets retrograde throughout the year, some for, this one's at 3 weeks, that's the shortest amount, some for as long as 6 months. But when they go retrograde, they're actually really not going backwards. They can't. It's just that they appear to from the Earth center placement that we all live. So the planet Mercury, because it's one of the attendants to the sun that rotates around the sun, when it comes to the retrograde period, it gets really close to the Earth. And so when it gets really close to the Earth, it almost becomes confusing and muffled. We can't. It's like
tuning a radio station.
Yeah, not being able to tune into the radio station. It's a lot of static. So that's why misunderstandings occur and things aren't perceived the way they were intended. So it's always double check the facts, double check the time, use alarms, use little benchmarks that help you get through your day of, your day and what all the things that you need to accomplish. So,
And then what does it mean if you have that natally?
So it goes retrograde for about 20 to 21 days every time. So we could figure that 3 times a year that there are, about 80-something days a year that Mercury is retrograde, and there are babies being born during those times. And so some of us I do not, neither do you, have a Mercury retrograde natally. However, that by the time you've reached this age, your age, my age, we have really kind of come out of this retrograde period that we had when we were children. And there was a time when it would have secondary progressed, which is another thing about an age you were when all of a sudden you got everything. Like your mental recognition, the way you perceive things, the way you can talk, the way you learn, the way you understand becomes easier and clearer. It means that you're still absorbing all this information, but you're not having an understanding of it to express it or explain it or to take tests. So there's an awful lot of Mercury retrograde babies, but they mature out of it, or they've put processes together as a young child in order to make amends, to repair that, so that these little tips and situations that they've figured out, along the way when they were younger, have worked for them as a mature adult, that they get to put that into program. So that's pretty cool. So,
so Mercury retrograde isn't something that we should be terrified about.
Oh my gosh, everybody. It does get the worst rap. I mean, it's non-astrology people know about Mercury retrograde.
And it's always the running joke of, is Mercury in retrograde?
It must be. And you give it, and that's your excuse.
Right.
You stop using Mercury retrograde as your excuse. You're just not paying attention.
Right. And sometimes, Mercury needs a break. We need a break every now and then.
I mean, yes, some things mess up. Computers really do break. Really, truly, you don't want to be purchasing a car or any mechanical or electric appliance or computer or phone during that time. It really is a little bit of a static,
frequency. Yeah.
But, as far as you using that as an excuse, try something else.
Yeah.
Use it as another excuse.
Excuses are lame.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have full control. So is there anything else you wanted to talk about Mercury in retrograde?
No, I mean, Mercury's been in its shadow period for about 2 weeks. It has till about April 16th for it to come completely out of its shadow. So, if you have to do something or make a contract or an agreement or sign on a dotted line, certainly try not to do it during the Mercury retrograde period from today, March 5th, all the way till the 28th or 29th. I can't believe I don't have my calendar here. That you really try not to do anything during that point. Really just kind of dream, kind of reframe the dream. If you have to do anything, you can use the time afterwards from that March 28th all the way beyond. But if you can hold off a little bit more, that shadow period ends on April 16th, I think it is. So.
And so tell me a little bit about Uranus and Taurus.
So a little bit later, which is tomorrow morning, that at 2:30...
March 6th, yeah.
March 6th, Wednesday at 2:35 a.m., while we're sleeping, we get the large, erratic, surprise, spontaneous, rebel, the planet Uranus moves into the sign of Taurus, the bull, the earth-fixed sign that wants nothing to do with change. So the change agent is showing up at the door, and Taurus doesn't want to let it in. But guess
with the change phobia person, yeah.
And guess what Uranus does? Surprisingly shows up and gets in anyway. So I titled this "Engage the Change," and we've been preparing all day, and we'll talk a little bit about that in our house because we had some personal snafus when Mercury went in retrograde a couple hours ago. But we've been preparing this webinar that we're having tomorrow night. We've got another one March 20th, same one. You could sign up for either one. And it's engaging with the change. How will you, over the next 7 years, bring in, allow, welcome the change agent?
Because Uranus is going to be in Taurus for 7 entire years.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
So Uranus is an 84-year cycle. it was back here 84 years ago. So if any of us that are under 84, we don't know what this is like. So part of my webinar is to explain, and teach some of those things that happened back 84 years ago, which, for one of the coolest things that I love was the New Deal that Eisenhower put into place for the construction of buildings like the Golden Gate Bridge. I
had no idea.
Yeah, the Rockefeller Center. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of buildings in New York that were built during this time by unemployed workers, United States workers, that were getting paid to build these, and these buildings are still up and very much alive.
Absolutely.
So he put the unemployed to work to make and build buildings, big construction teams.
Yeah, Taurus would like that. Physical.
So that was kind of one of the things that
from the ground
occurred that, to building structure. So yeah, anything Taurus, this is, finances, this is earth, agriculture, livestock, it's a bull, so it would reflect to the cows. So food, are you going vegan, Alex?
Not yet, not right now.
Well, you may, in the next 7 years, it might be less and less red meat, less and less, because it needs to be organic.
In 7 years, anything could happen. So yeah.
Well, we'll see. I'll check with you in 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll be talking a lot about this, but when we wake up tomorrow morning, this is here for the next for good for the next 7 years. So anyone that has a sun in Taurus or any personal planets in Taurus are, be excited, right? You can't run. You don't even know where to run because you don't know where it's going to hit, because it's expect the unexpected type of sudden energies. And it can be a surprise. These can be brilliant surprises. What just happened last night was the guy that won, and I don't even know if it's guy, because he's come in as anonymous, that the 1.5 billion mega lottery ticket came forward.
Oh, wow.
After all these months. That
was a while ago.
That was a while ago. And it just showing up yesterday, just kind of as this is coming into the air. It's like a sudden shock that
he's ready to take his valuables.
He's taken it all in one.
We should say.
Yeah, and said, you know what, I want to remain anonymous, which is, kind of one of the reasons why, I guess, they, he, she.
I'm sure the government knows.
Well, absolutely. Now,
right, no, I'm kidding.
Now, yeah. But he's taken it in one lump sum. Right. Anyway, just wanted to say that, kind of one of those, that happened.
Yeah.
Then we go into the new moon in Pisces. Really, tomorrow, this is also Wednesday, the 6th. A lot going on this day. At 10:04 a.m., the moon crosses the sun just right before 16 degrees of Pisces. And it is right there at the same degree with Neptune, which is the ruler, the current ruler of Pisces. So a lot of spiritual recharge, a lot of spiritual review. This is a healing time. It's a time to dream, to be inspired, inspire others, find inspiration from someone, something, some activity, go solo, do things on your own. So you're experiencing only your experiences, right? Only your adventure. Be by water. And here's where I want to put in, take a bathtub, Alex.
Yay, that's my favorite. I can't wait for my bathtub tonight.
Listen to sound. If you have one of the gongs or a singing bowl, get it off the shelf. Put it down where you sit and at your chair. Use this time to really allow yourself to drift into this place. And remember, Mercury's retrograde in Pisces with the new moon in Pisces. So a lot of Pisces energy going on, even more so than a normal March.
I like it.
And then a couple hours later, at 7:01 p.m., we get the sun in Pisces conjoins that Neptune in Pisces. Well, it makes sense because we just had the new moon, right? And the new moon means when the moon crosses the sun and then it bumps right into the moon bumps right into Neptune. Well, a couple hours later, the sun then bumps into Neptune. So, understand the world. That there's a stimulation of all sensitivities. This includes intuition. So, this is your interaction with other people. This is interaction with yourself, interaction with your surroundings. This intuitive sense is, you feel more for other people than you do for yourself. So, yeah, that's kind of a fine line to want to help others through charitable acts or wanting to heal them, help them in some way, to nurture them, to feel compassionate for them. However, don't forget about yourself. Will there be enough for you? So, with this Mercury retrograde, maybe you take care of yourself first, and with that extra inspired energy, you take care of others.
Absolutely. I think that's necessary.
Because
this is a wonderful time to test that theory out and see if you can really give from a full cup.
Because the opposite on the lower polarity for the Sun conjunct Neptune is, you want to avoid reality altogether. And so how do you avoid what's real in your life? Is to start seeing through rose-colored glasses, which means drugs, alcohol, or anything that keeps your eyes closed, right?
Because understanding the world is an intense quest.
Yeah. Maybe get into some new meditation, download some new meditation. If you don't have any of the Nako Bear and Medicine for the People, download all of that music this month. I dare you.
Yes.
I dare you, because this is the medicine that could heal ourselves.
Yeah.
And that from there, it heals others. So again, really big. Also, don't forget, the next day, we have Saturday the 9th. We have the sun. There's that sun in Pisces in a sextile, 60 degrees, to Saturn in its own sign of Capricorn. And this happens early on in the day at 1:10 a.m. on Saturday the 9th. And this is, I titled it, Being on Point, right? It's like focused. It's like careful, detailed work, make plans, execute everything properly. It's great for self-control, good discipline. It's not a time really for, sitting back and chilling and taking it easy, because Saturn says, hey, I'm going to give you some detailed plans today, and you have precision to accomplish this and feel good about yourself, feel satisfied.
So get a to-do list.
And this is a Saturday, right?
That would be a good day for a to-do list. If you have the weekends off, get that list together and just start knocking them down.
It's kind of like get up early on Saturday morning, because guess what happens? The next morning, we go into daylight savings time.
Oh, yes.
So we spring forward, right? So we kind of lose an hour.
Right.
So, get up early on Saturday. Work, get focused. You're going to get a lot of things done. Finish up that stuff that you have on your to-do list, because on Sunday, you've lost an hour, and we get the Mars sextile Neptune, which now says relax.
Yay. That's a good one.
So it's really low energy. You want to lay around, you want to think about your life. Maybe you want to be proud of everything.
All the things you did on Saturday.
The day before. So today is the day to be rewarded. If that's like going to a movie, attending a yoga class. I mean, it's still Neptune. So, maybe you want to do a yoga class at home and not even leave the house. And plan for this. This could be one of the plans on Saturday, that you're going to get all this stuff done and maybe run to the grocery store and pick out that movie, and you're going to go buy that new game, and you're going to invite some people over. And on Sunday, you don't have to do anything but really simply vision, meditate, relax, enjoy, and feel rewarded.
Might as well dance to the new Nako album they got too.
Yeah, let's do that. So, it's funny because I was like spring into daylight time. We'll be in Phoenix, Arizona, where this is constant mountain standard time. They don't change.
Right.
So we're not going to like lose or gain. Well, we're not going to be there for a gain, but we're going to just be right flowing through. Although when we arrive back to Chicago, we get in at like 2:00 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, we're going to feel it then. We're going to feel it then.
Oh, yay.
So really, that's the energy of this week. Big energy with the Mercury retrograde happening today. And on Wednesday, the Uranus into Taurus. And then the new moon in Pisces. So, okay, we'll be ready for that. Do you want to hear about some Talisman Times I did?
Of course I do. Yes. So you started one possibly last week, the Sun sextile Mars.
I did. I did finish that. I did that on Wednesday, February 27th at 7:30 in the morning to energize core vitality. I am sure of my direction. I engage my willpower to move me forward. Let's go.
I like that. Energize core vitality.
Then at 6:35, the moon was conjunct Jupiter up in the midheaven with the rising sign of Pisces. So this is to attract luck and abundance. I launch my new project now when I easily gain beautiful gifts at this time.
And so that one you already did.
I already did these two.
Oh, wow.
These two are complete. They're ready for sale. They're not, let's see, they're on the website, but I haven't photographed. Oh, yeah, I did. I photographed them. Well, look at me. Because I'm really trying to stay in that, like, make the beads, bake them, putting them into the finished product and the bracelet, and then immediately getting them online and even taking the picture. And then when you print the card, that's where it gets into a little slow motion period.
Oh,
yeah.
Taking a Mercury retrograde jab at me.
That those cards still have not been printed. But we're taking these pieces to Phoenix with us to the International Women's Summit. So I doubt we'll bring these two home with us. But here's what I've got coming up this week.
Mm-hmm.
And two of them are tomorrow. So Wednesday, March 6th, we're going to use the Jupiter square the Mercury retrograde to successfully rectify wrongs. I use my talents and positive attitudes to inspire those who welcome healing.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great way to use Mercury retrograde.
I agree. Also, a little bit later that day at 11:23, I'm going to go after the new moon mala. I'll be making new moon beads. That's conjunct the Neptune to ignite the shadow with inspired light.
And the new moon in Pisces, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, March 6th, also, I'm going to get toward the end of the afternoon at 3:52 p.m., the Sun conjunct Neptune to understand our healing process. I vision myself easily as the spiritual being I am and came here to be.
Yeah, I mean, we even just talked about that Neptune is going to be wonderful healing time.
It's a big player this week. Yeah. So let's talk about...
Those talismans sound really exciting. So let's talk a little bit about On the Horizon, where we like to chat about some upcoming things. But let's first, before we get into those upcoming things, let's talk about the things we just did, like the Dr. Laura Berman radio show, as well as the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo.
We did both of those. Yeah, Dr. Laura Berman, I'm going on, she's invited me as a guest once a month, where we do about an hour, a little bit over an hour, where we get phone-ins. Mm-hmm. So keep watch for our emails to you. Right. Because I had some people, I know one particular client that called in and what you do is you email, when you hear this, there's an email link to go to where you're going to fill out your name and your birth information.
Right.
So I get the birth information in advance. Then Michelle, Dr. Laura Berman's producer, contacts you and gets Dr. Laura and I on the live on the radio and the question, and I do the chart And then Dr. Laura uses her expertise and her honing in on the advice for helping this client. And wow, we're remote right now. I'm in Chicago. She's in LA. But we were like air high-fiving.
Air
like,
five.
Oh, is that what it's called?
I
Air
don't know.
five?
I kind of made that up.
Can we, yeah, air five. I like that.
I'm sure I didn't
Another
make that
one.
up, though.
Okay.
Well, tell me, what is your favorite thing about your radio show with Laura, Dr. Laura?
Actually, the fun and the validation that I really believe they hear the advice because they made that special contact, that special call. They listen to Dr. Laura regularly, and that they're going to, follow up with us on it. And we get some details. You're going to hear on this radio show the details of what, why, when, how, and there's always solutions.
Yeah.
There's always solutions. There's always advice. You just have to really keep your ears and mind knowing that someone might have a better plan than you've got for yourself.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, if anyone is interested in signing up for that, possibility of going on the radio show, sign up for our email list. That's when you go to intentionbeads.com, you scroll down and there's going to be a little pop-up that says, hey, would you like us to keep in touch with you? That's where you get on there, as well as we're going to be putting it on our Instagram page as well, so that you know exactly who to email and how to get in on this wonderful list to get on Uncovered Radio.
It's a lot of fun. And actually, we're going to see her this weekend at
at the International Women's Summit.
She's on stage.
Yeah, that'll be so cool. So let's talk a little bit about the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo that we had
in Northlake, which is Chicago.
And we had a few people that either were listening to the podcast or saw our email that got free tickets.
Yeah.
So we had some winners and they joined us, and it was wonderful to see everybody. And even it was so cool because this was basically our first show of the year, but we're gonna have a story about that in our house. So later in the episode, because there's some funny stories there.
But for all of the brave souls that let this 60-ish-year-old woman take their phone, I'm like, give me your phone. Oh, we do a podcast. Oh, you do? I'll have to sign up. Well, give me your phone. And I did that again. I must have grabbed 35 people's phones to subscribe them. So welcome, and thank you for trusting me.
Yeah, welcome everybody from the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo. I do want to say that if you did sign up for our email list during the show, I have not forgotten about you. I've just been a little bit under the weather. I will be sending out an email to everyone about who won the free Orbit necklace. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned for that. That should be going out tomorrow. And I think that's pretty much it, but we have a lot coming up this month.
Yeah.
A lot. So the
first thing I want to talk about is the Uranus and Taurus. You and I built a webinar that has about a 2.5 hour Zoom call webinar where I'm making it one bead talisman that ends up being a charm that hangs anywhere, necklace, bracelet, on a zipper, wherever. Mm-hmm. But it holds that engage with the change attitude that we put into it. So that I'm running on March 6th in the evening and again on March 20th. So you could have either signed up for either one, but you're getting any and all, and trust me, everyone has an aspect that Uranus is making in their natal chart. Anybody with fixed signs, which are the Taurus, and the opposite of Taurus is Scorpio. Then we go to the 90 degrees of each, and that is Aquarius and Leo. Those planets will be really big focused ones. Anyone that has any other planets in the earth signs, which are Capricorn or Virgo, will also have trines. These will be kind of an easier, more happier surprise with less confrontation attitude. Mm-hmm. So, you're getting a lot of dates and a lot of a description of what you can expect during this and how you can best use the energy and what to be prepared for. So that's what we were doing this afternoon, which we'll still talk about in our house.
Right. And then also coming up, we have this weekend, March 7th to 9th, we are going to be in Phoenix, Arizona for the International Women's Summit.
Love it.
We're so excited. The people that, put this on, Liz Dawn is really know how to put together an event.
My favorite ever event planner in the world.
Wow. That was a compliment.
I can only say that. That's how I rate her ability and the team she has put together and the people that she gathers, and her choices of who she chooses to be on stage.
Right. The speaker lineup is pretty amazing. And like you just said, Dr. Laura Berman's going to be there too, which is just so cool. All of these worlds are really like combining and collapsing. That's the first time that I've seen Laura Berman on.
I believe it might be
speaker list,
especially recently, if at all. Yeah.
Cool. So then also coming up March 16th, everybody mark your calendars. This is the Q2 of Cosmic Trends. Now, Cosmic Trends is a free Facebook event that it's also on Instagram too, but it's a free event where it's all digital. You can come in and join us from home. It will also be recorded, but basically it is Sandy and her astrological amiga, Susan Goodell, where they talk about their favorite days of the quarter, what's going to be going on, what you should be aware of, as well as explain astrology in an easy way, kind of like we do here at the podcast. So March 16th, Cosmic Trends. If you want to find out more information, go to intentionbeads.com/events, and you'll see that. And you can, register.
It starts at
RSVP.
And how about I just tell them it's at 10 a.m. Central Time.
Correct.
And it's for 1 hour.
Right. It's super easy.
And you can ask questions. Alex stands behind the scene with question mark, signs.
Right. So you can ask. You can ask questions
engage.
there. You can engage. You can make comments, and I'll share as much as I can with Sandy and Susan. Also, if you like us and you follow us on Facebook, then you will be automatically notified when we are going live. So that's another benefit of finding us on Facebook, which is just search Intention Beads. It's very simple. Next.
Well, can I just interrupt?
Sure.
We have one space available.
Oh, that's right. So with this free Cosmic Trends event that we do, we also have a paid in-person event that is pretty much because we're basically recording this Facebook Live event in front of a live audience, which is pretty funny. I never thought that we would really be, filming in front of a live audience, but they hold back the applause and things like that for you guys.
And what their bathroom runs.
Right. Yeah, they really hold it. So basically we have an event that happens right after Cosmic Trends, and this is a paid in-person. The ticket prices are $150, and what that gets you is a seat, a front row seat for this event, as well as once the cameras stop rolling, this is when we get deep into your chart. Into your personal chart. And so we have one spot left. We welcome you you can email me, info@intentionbeads.com, and I can go ahead and sign you up or answer any of your questions. So just let us know about that. That is Saturday, and you want to be there by 9:30, 9:45. Just say 9:30, and then you'll probably get there around 9:45. We just don't want people coming in and going through during the recording. It would be disturbing for the online listeners. But it lasts till 4 o'clock, and it includes lunch. Right. A delicious lunch. So then we have, because we have a packed March. We are out of town or doing something every single weekend. So March 22nd and 23rd, this is the Hay House Live. This is, again, another of our favorite shows ever. So this one's going to be happening in Portland, Oregon. I am so excited to, head over to the West Coast and Hay House, if you haven't heard of Hay House, it's a publishing house, and they have incredible speakers, incredible authors.
Started by Louise Hay.
Louise Hay, I mean, and she was a big, initiator of the big wellness phenomenon that's happening right now. And affirmations and mirror work and, how to heal your body and knowing what illnesses can be a psychological symptom of. So it's all really wonderful information. And of course, join us at Hay House Live. That's March 22nd to the 23rd. And you'll see that on our website. Woo. Then finally, we will be traveling to Bali. Our annual Bali retreat is, I think it's still open for enrollment, just a couple more days.
Yeah, sliver.
And we have just like maybe 1 or 2 spots left if you are interested. But we're pretty much collecting the perfect group. I'm so excited.
I mean, we did our Zoom call last night for our Bali Babes 2019 and just going over some of the ins and outs. And everybody's getting so excited. We began our WhatsApp group today, and everybody's starting to meet and greet and talk and seeing who's on the same flight and who can sit with each other and all that. So,
it's exciting.
It's begun.
It is beginning. So, of course, we head out there pretty early, and we are going to be doing some fun podcast episodes from there, so stay tuned.
Ooh, I wonder if you'll hear the monkeys in the background.
Or the monkeys that steal the microphone and run. The entire cell phone.
It'll be on a cord, right?
We'll hope so. And I think that's all that we have coming up on the horizon for just yet. I don't want to overwhelm you guys because our 2019 schedule is pretty much filling up, but we'll keep you updated throughout the podcast.
Can I just say one thing that came up today? We're doing one of our first domestic retreats in Lake Tahoe in September. That's all I'm going to say to you, Alex.
And to the listeners.
Okay.
Yes. Well, of course, if, get on
not till September.
Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, add yourself onto our email list because we're going to be informing you all that way, probably as well on the podcast. But you'll know first from there. Now, finally, for our house. Come on in, join in.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Thank you.
Things have been so crazy. I bought you your birthday card. Mm-hmm. It is still in the little plastic container. I haven't taken it out. I mean, your birthday was March 1st. So,
yes.
You think I can get busy on gifting your...
And it is the 5th today.
Birthday card. Man, although I did buy you, we went and got facials.
Yes, that was
day of your
wonderful.
Birthday. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, nice. my birthday was very, very relaxing, very easy.
Yeah, because the night before.
Right, the night before I had a big party.
It
was loud and fun, and we had a pool table, and there was a unicorn theme, and it was just such a wonderful surprise and such great time to spend with family and friends. So, of course, my birthday weekend was just amazing. But since then, I mean, we jumped on to the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo. We worked on Saturday. We worked on Sunday. And maybe that's another reason why my voice is a little bit, gone.
You did most of the talking.
I talked to everybody.
And I said, if you, I'll do the packing.
Right.
So it was our first show of the year. Mm-hmm. From the last show in November, and then we did the retreat, which is a complete different kind of packing.
Right.
We got retreat pack, and then we got show pack.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we used the same suitcases. Mm-hmm. So we took all of show pack out, retreat pack. Then it's now time for. We didn't even pack until Saturday morning. That's how relaxed, let's just say, our Friday was. Mm-hmm. Besides, I had to have some surprise, dental
work. Ouch.
Surgery thing that's going on that I need to do.
And I'm the one that can't talk, which is so funny.
I know. but we forgot so many things when we were setting up. Alex was like, "Where's this?" I'm like, "Oh, I forgot. Where's that?
Where's our top selling item?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot.
Forgot it. Where's our business cards? Whoops. We don't have that. Yeah. What? So that was just the mishaps after mishaps. And I'm trying to set up the sign and the sign's pretty much falling down. And then we're trying to get up.
Foot.
And and then the what is that called? The
pipe and drape was falling down.
Display was falling down, and it was after a little bit, we just had to look at each other and just laugh and say, "Yep, this is the first show of the year. Here it goes."
And we did beautifully. We had a great show.
All of the people that we met, I'm so excited. People are, getting excited to find, a mindful tribe that they can really, cozy up and into. Mm-hmm. And so many people came up to me and say, "Oh yeah, I get your emails all the time. Oh yeah, I love your podcast." And I'm looking at them being like, that is so cool. Thank you so much. It does mean a lot to hear that. And
it really does.
Sometimes we're just sitting here. Sometimes we're just sitting here and we're like, sending out all these wavelengths, but we don't know if they hit anything.
At least we're looking at each other across the table, and I know you're there for me, Alex.
Yeah, of course. And this is our pretty much our special time to actually ground and get back to status quo, and
which is perfect timing from this afternoon. Can we go there for a minute?
Sure, of course.
Oh my gosh, we work really well together.
We do.
True.
Yes.
We live really well together. Mm-hmm. We travel really well together. Mm-hmm. People are amazed as mother and daughter. They'd like to have mother-daughter relationship like we do.
Of course.
This afternoon, it's like if I say that when Mercury went retrograde today at 12:19, we were eating this funny looking lunch, right? Because we haven't been to the grocery store in about 3 weeks, folks. I don't know.
It's been a long.
Like, what plus what equals edible, right?
Right. That's exactly was our menu today.
So that was our lunch menu. We eat. We head back down into the sanctuary to prepare all of our charts and our worksheets and our detailed reports and our house page for all of the attendees for the webinar tomorrow night. And you and I went at it. You were not happy with what I was dealing, and I was not happy. I think you're making mistakes. You're saying you're not, and just let it be for, I know what I'm doing. I'm just copying and pasting, and I'm looking over your shoulder because we never sit next to each other.
No.
In the sanctuary.
And maybe that was a thing. Maybe we shouldn't do that anymore.
We always sit across, so we see the backs of our laptops to each other.
Right.
And we've got this 8 foot by 8 foot marble desk.
Yeah, we share a desk, but it's the biggest desk you could imagine.
Yeah, and it's like a high top. You could actually, if we take all the work off of it, you could serve us cocktails.
Desk.
Well, but we really sit. But I stand sometimes. But anyway, by sitting next to you and watching what you were doing was making me aggravated. And so I thought, if I mentioned that tonight, it'd be like, oh, do people think I took you by the neck? Because your voice is
That's
kind
why
of
my voice, yeah.
I did not. But it was like, and then you're like, we need to eat before we go to the podcast. I'm like, Alex, we just
I was hangry.
So we looked at each other finally and we're like, yeah, this is what we're talking about in the podcast tonight. Anyway, Mercury is going retrograde and things are you're going to make mistakes, Alex. So let's review this for this third time. And we would review it the third time and there were still mistakes.
Right.
So, pay attention to what you did this afternoon, folks. If you don't have somebody looking over your shoulder, make sure that you're rechecking your work. This is what Mercury retrograde is doing. So, and Alex was like not happy with me. I'm telling her to go wash her mouth out with hot salt water, not soap. But my mom told me that too. Soap and hot salt water.
Sore throat?
No, for being mean.
I was not being mean.
No, but you were being harsh. But so was I.
Uh-huh.
But now here we are sitting across from this table, and we get along sitting across from each other.
We do. We're just not, yeah.
Side by side, I don't know. Although we sit next to each other in airplanes.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's more relaxed, not working.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So watch this Mercury retrograde, folks. It's a biggie.
Yeah. And I'm so excited that the Body, Mind, Spirit, so many people showed up. Everyone was so like wonderful and interested in our product. I mean, not even our product, but like, our community and who we are and what we talk about and like the astrological philosophies that we have. And there were so many people that, just like we're walking by the booth and we're like, oh, okay. And then they would pick up one of our bracelets and they would be like, it would say $222.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they would like nearly like drop it into the, box and like run away. But it was always so funny because had I had a moment to talk to them about like what we do and how we do it, and we don't buy these beads, we hand create and sculpt them out of clay and, all of these huge key points about what we do. Everyone, once I have that opportunity to, tell them, their mouths drop and they go, this is the coolest booth in this whole entire place.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but you did. Okay. I heard that many a time.
Right. And I mean, then like the $222 feels like a steal, which it pretty much is still. But yeah, I mean, we put so much intention into our work. We put so much energy into what we do. And I really do. I thank you all, joining into the podcast, listening to us and,
tell a friend.
And we want you guys to tell a friend. We want this podcast to grow. We want everyone to stay mindful within their week. And just know that these energies are going to be coming at you, so we can work it accordingly.
Let me piggyback on that, because if you tell a friend and they're listening to this and seeing the energy of their week, it's really nice to have a friend that you can, chat with, or to how did you understand that? How is it working for you?
Right.
And to be able to share and engage and use each other as that sounding board, or actually, I need help right now. Right. Can you help me? I'll help you.
Yeah. Or that on that Neptune transit day, like go out and go to a movie together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then have one cocktail.
Well, just 4.
One.
Plus 10. But anyway, we love you guys so much. And we thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We will see you next time. And that will be March.
Add 7 plus 5.
Okay, 12.
March 12th.
March 12th, we'll see you back here. Of course, email me if you have any questions, info@intentionbeads.com. You can check us out on Instagram. That's @intention_beads. And check out our website, intentionbeads.com. See you then.
Thank you.